Hi y'all, this is the Oklahoma Grammy. My name is Sandra and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thank you for watching. I am going to show you a very easy way to make sauerkraut. My niece Gigi was up here last week and she asked me if I had any sauerkraut and I told her no, and she asked me if I would make some, so I want to let her know, plus my niece Pauline, that they live in Dallas, and I'm going to show them and you how to make this very simple sauerkraut. It's very minimal ingredients. Your hardest part is chopping up the cabbage, stuffing them very tightly into our jars, and the waiting period. To make it, it's very quick. It takes 30 minutes. Once you put it in your canner, whenever you take it out, you're going to let it set on the counter. And once the jar's cool, you want to take your rings off. You want to get some mild soapy water, and you want to take and clean your jars completely, including your lids. This keeps, you know, if you have anything that comes out of your jars, from smelling, basically, because it is cabbage that you have fermented in very quickly in your canner. And what you're going to do once you take and get it done is you're going to put it back in the box, all of your jars that the jars came in. I made 9, and I've got my box ready. And once we get ready, we're going to take and put it in the bottom of our closet or under our bed, but we're going to make sure that we set that box on something, because whenever you put something on a floor, your floor temperature fluctuates, and that could either make it too cold or too warm, and that could pop your lids, and you don't want that to happen. And it's going to take you 2 weeks at the minimum that you're going to let your jar set before you open one to eat it. It's just like vanilla, any kind of extract that you make. The longer it sets, the better it is. So I'm going to show you how to do this. So the first thing I did was I sliced up all of my cabbage, and you want to use the green cabbage, and you know, take and slice it like you would a tomato, or you know, anything that's circular, like your vegetables and stuff. And you want to take and shred it up real good, put it in your jars, and you want to make sure that it is really tight in your jar. And the next thing that we do, and this is a very important step, is you want to use your pickling salt, your pickling and canning salt. And the reason for this is it helps in the fermentation of setting there for that 2 weeks. And it's also, along with the vinegar and the water that goes into the jar, you've got you got 4 ingredients. You got your cabbage, you have your pickling salt, you have your vinegar, and you have your water. Now your vinegar, you want to make sure that it is 5% acidity. And that is very important because it helps break down the cabbage along with the vinegar. The vinegar and the salt is what's going to break that down, but you need to make sure you have water in your jars also. So we're going to use 1 tablespoon per jar, and these are quart jars. You will use a half a tablespoon if you're using the pint jars or the little jelly jars, the 8 ounces. So I'm going to put a tablespoon in each one of my jars. And I've got 9 jars, so my canner holds 7 quarts. And I'm going to do 2 different ones. Now, this is really hard, y'all. You're going to take your jar, as you can see, and you're going to take and bring this up to a half a jar of white vinegar. And as you can tell, I took and put the, and that's all there is to it. That's a half a jar of vinegar. And the next part that we're going to do is we're going to fill it the rest of the way up with warm water. So I'm going to get my water warming, and we're going to fill this the rest of the way up with water. And we want to do it to a 1/2 inch headspace, which is right there, which is this line right here, not the bottom line, but the next one up. And then all you're going to do, I stuck my lids in warm water in my sink. That's all there is to it. We're going to put it in the canner, and I use cold water, cold canner, cold jars, and we're going to let that come up very slowly until the canner gets warm, and then I'll turn it up to high and let it do its thing. We're going to let our canner steam for 10 minutes. After the 10 minutes, I will put my little jiggler, which is what I have here. For my elevation, it is 10 pounds of weight. And make sure you can Google your location by either your city or your next biggest city in your county, and that will tell you what your elevation is. And my elevation is just right at 1,000 feet, so mine is 10 pounds weight. You will know whether you have enough weight or not. For mine, it's 10 pounds for 30 minutes. I believe that like if you're at 1,100 feet or more, then you are going to use your 15-pound weight. If you are 0 to 1,000 feet, that's 5 pounds of pressure. Okay, and if you are 1,000 feet, from what my extension office told me, if you're 1,000 feet to 1,050 feet, it's 10 pounds pressure where I'm at, and that's what they recommended here from my extension office. And she said 1,051 to over that, anything over that is 15 pounds pressure. Now, we've been pressure canning for a long time. We do water bath canning. We do oven canning. That's your 3 canning methods. You have dry canning, you have wet canning. When you're dry canning, you don't add any kind of fluid to it or anything. If you are wet canning, that's where you put all your liquids and stuff in it. So let me go ahead and get all of these done, and I'll bring you back and I'll show you what they look like once I have processed them. Hey y'all, so it's the next day, and we've got through processing the sauerkraut, and I want to show you what it looks like. This is after 24 hours of just sitting. So I hope that you enjoyed the video, and now you know how easy it is to make sauerkraut. We're going to put this back in the box, and we're going to put it in the closet, and we're going to leave it undisturbed for 14 days. After 14 days, open it up, and it's ready to eat. Just remember the saying, the longer it sits, the better it gets. So I hope that you enjoyed, and I hope that you'll join me next time on another video. This is the Oklahoma Grammy. Thanks for watching. Bye.